there, YouTubers. So, I wanted to make a video with my thoughts on Demeter so far, and I know that this may be a bit premature. We are not even 2 days into her release yet, and to be quite honest, I haven't played her all that much. And of course, since it's only 2 days, neither has a lot of other players. But I still wanted to just give my initial thoughts out here, because I think she's had a bit of a rough landing amongst at least people who play this game competitively. I think she's underwhelming. You look at AOM stats and she's got a terrible win rate, really, really low. And Pan, this minor god in particular, has a low win rate. Ares is slightly better, but nevertheless, like she's had a really rough landing, and I wanted to just talk about why I think this may be. And well, first of all, I can also just tell you the reason I haven't played her much is because I just haven't had that urge to get into a game and try playing around with all her stuff. And this wasn't so when, for example, Japan was released. When Japan was out, I just wanted to get in there and try all the different things you could do with these three major gods. Whereas with Demeter, I find it really, really rough. I don't know what strategies to go for. And a big part of that is because of Pan, this minor god here. He's a boomy, defensive god, minor god, and it just doesn't allow for many cool, interesting strategies. None of his technologies applies anything to your army. This one applies to your myth unit. This one applies to your myth unit. And this one is a freaking annoying upgrade for your walls. So the technologies doesn't let you do a particular strategy. Except for, of course, with this upgrade, you want to get this while you're building a town center, and then you're gonna boom even more. And then when you got enough like Chaos, you can have like 3 or 4 villagers on favor that synergizes with herdables, adding extra favor gather rate. And then eventually, when you have enough like Chaos, you'll get this predatory instinct upgrade, and then you go all in. That's the kind of game plan I see with Pan. But I don't know. To me, it doesn't seem very interesting, and I haven't had success with it. I haven't played too many games. I think maybe once I finish my yapping here, we'll go over a game I saw of Pegasus Rush doing this really well. So it can definitely be done. And actually, the wall here kind of synergizes with that game plan as well, because you can transform your werewolves back into villagers, and then you can build walls that are so ridiculously annoying for your opponent. So there is some synergy here. Don't get me wrong, there is some synergy. But, and actually this technology also, once again, if your werewolf is low on HP, you transform it back into a villager, and then you just chop some wood, carry some gold, and then before you know it, you're full HP again. So yeah, the synergy is there. It is funny, I can see it. But in a real game, I just don't find this feasible in a lot of cases. I think the Ares route is a lot better because you get Hoplite upgrade, Prodromos upgrade, Toxodia upgrade, and Hippaspis upgrade. Here's something to play with, to actually play with. And then, of course, the synergy here is ridiculous. Toxodia upgrade and a really, really sick Toxodia upgrade in Heroic Age. So that's the one big synergy I see with Demeter that's actually applicable in most games, is going Ares Hestia route for Toxodies. And that's cool, I guess, but it's the only one I can really, really see myself playing around with. Also keep in mind, hoplites become really good with this upgrade, but this upgrade is bugged. It doesn't do anything currently. And it's the same with golden apples. This upgrade is also bugged, so this doesn't do anything either. And this should synergize with this herdables on favor gather rate. In theory, you should be able to get some ridiculous favor income with Demeter. But yeah, golden apples is bugged. This upgrade is bugged. We'll get into that later. So, like I said, yeah, with Japan, I just found when Japan was released, I just wanted to get into a game all the time and just try out funky stuff. I don't have that with Demeter. But I should also say when Frey was released, you can't even see his upgrade, his mechanics here because my stupid mod. When Frey was released, I didn't like him much at all. I thought he's a Norse major god and he focuses on defense and economy, and this just felt wrong to me. And I honestly didn't really play him much in the beginning because I didn't find him interesting. But it's only later that I realized that he's a ridiculously well-designed god. And to be honest, I think he's the best designed god in the game. Better than any of the initial major gods. He's such a good design. This god power here is probably my favorite design of a classical age god power. You get your hill fort in the classical age, but it takes a long while to build it. And obviously, you need to build only infantry to get it. And then when you do get it, you have protected your gold mine, your secondary hunt, or your town center, whatever it is. And you get to build a new, really good unit, the hostile unit. So it's so well designed. And yeah, I don't know. It like I said, I didn't like Freyr in the beginning, but I've come to really, really like him as time has went on. And it could be the same with Demeter, that I just don't see the playstyle pattern. That's just something that I'm missing. And maybe once players get to really dive into her, spend a lot of time developing 2TC strategies, village center strategies, maybe we'll come to love Demeter like we love Frey. It's entirely possible, as Joe Rogan says. But yeah, and then also these some of the things with Demeter I want to talk about, like the Lycaon. They require so much microing. If you want to go for the full synergy setup with the Lycaon, utilize this upgrade where you go in and out of villagers to heal back up. Utilize this upgrade where you build, like, say, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them, and then you get this upgrade. And then you build walls as well. And you set up this one before you build the town center. It just requires a lot of setup, a lot of microing, and when you're playing an RTS game, it's really, really difficult to have the APM and awareness for doing all this stuff with the Lycaon. And then on top of that, when you get to the heroic age, you get the Hammer Dryad. And once again, this requires a big setup. You need to have a good grasp of what the enemy sees. You need to know where are they going to go for gold next time around? Where's a good choke point where you can place this girl? All these kinds of things. Once again, it takes a lot of APM and awareness to set this up properly. And honestly, it's the same thing with the Siren. The Siren doesn't do much, but you need to set her up so that, for example, King Midas can attack the unit that she's luring in. Or you can lure the unit into the communal hearth. That's another really cool use of her. Like I talk about these things, and there are really cool things that you can do. But the thing is, in an RTS game, you are preoccupied with doing millions of other things. And so it's very, very difficult to maximize the use of the Lycaons, the Hamadryads, the Siren, King Midas, get all of these things done at the same time. You really can't do it. Even just playing the game regularly, and then on top of that, playing the werewolf game, playing the Hamadryad game, it's too much for even the best of players. And I think that's just the issue with Demeter. I think maybe she's got too many wonky things, too many things that requires a crazy amount of setup in order to work. And also, when you go up through Pan, you're missing out on a real myth unit. It's only when you have like 7, 8, 9, 10, and then you get this upgrade, it's only then that you get your myth units actually rolling. And you're just missing out on so much tempo. Same thing with Hestia. You're missing out on a real myth unit. It's only when you get this upgrade that this becomes a real unit. Up until you get this upgrade, it's an absolute trash unit. Absolute trash tier. Not even better than a classical age myth unit if you don't have this upgrade. And so I think that's the issue with Demeter, is everything just requires a setup before you get started, and then once it's set up, it still requires you to have the APM and awareness to set it up to really get the maximum potential out of it. So yeah, it is really hard to play her right. And like I said, I am open to the option, the offer to the event in the future that might happen, that people get to really play her well, and we're gonna see her shine. I hope that's gonna be the case. But just right now, yes, she's had a very, very rough landing. I also want to talk about bugs, because with the Lycaon, if it gets hit by even just, say, a Catascopus early game, it's going to turn into a werewolf, and then you can't make it back into a villager until you get this upgrade. There's no way that's intended. There's no way that's how it's supposed to be. And another thing, like I had a game where an Anubite raided 2 of my Lycaons, and they killed them with ease because it took so long for them to turn from villagers to werewolves. They didn't even get to fight back. So that felt awful. And like I talked about earlier, Golden Apples is bugged. Even with Zeus, his favor gather rate is bugged now as well. And yeah, this technology doesn't work. Yeah, once again, a rough landing, not only in terms of power level and people realizing how to play her, but also just some bugs that shouldn't be there, if you're asking me. So, yeah, last thing I want to talk about is Demeter catering towards casual gamers rather than try-hard autists. You look at all these units, like I was talking about here, the Lycaons, the Dryads, Sirens, even Icarus, the flying third age hero, and King Midas with that funny mythic age ability. It's fun. It sounds really fun and interesting on paper, but it's something that I think, and like this upgrade as well, it's like a defender's dream. You just wall up your entire base and you watch the stupid AI hitting your walls and dying. I can see casual gamers really enjoying this. And the same with the meadow here. You can have some fun versus the AI abusing it. But in a real game, for people who are trying really hard to just beat their opponents and be the best, I don't think these things, at least in the excessive amount that we have here with Demeter, I think it's really, really rough, really tough to get right. And yeah, I think Demeter in many ways caters more to casual gamers than to competitive gamers. And, that shouldn't necessarily be a critique. It's just for someone like me. Yeah, I obviously don't like that. Um, so yeah, what do you guys think? I want to hear in the comments. What do you guys think? I think for the end of this video, I'm gonna show, like I said, a video that Pegasus Rush played where he made the pan playstyle workout because that looked really interesting. And like I said, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. It could be that I'm completely wrong. Could be that we're gonna need a balance patch or two, and then all of these things are gonna get fixed. Who knows? But yeah, I want to hear what you guys think about all this, and I'll see you guys later. All right, so here is the game I was talking about earlier. Pegasus is doing a really, really cool strategy. And let's also look at his build order because it's quite unique, actually. He gets a good map where he can share storehouse on gold and wood. And he's playing it almost as if he's Hades here. He's herding the Zero back into the town center, and he's going 2 on gold, 2 on wood. It's not unusual that you would do this with Hades, but he's doing it with Demeter. And the reason for this is just, of course, you save yourself 50 wood sharing the storehouse here, and you save yourself 50 wood not building a granary here as well. So it's just a very nice start. And then these 2 on wood, you're not going to need all this wood early on at all. You see he's already got 240 wood stockpiled, and he doesn't need any more wood. But eventually he's going to need it. Either he's going to need it for a second town center, or he's going to need it for, houses, stables, barracks, whatever it is he wants to make. You always need wood when you hit classical age as Greek, no matter what you do. And the cool thing is, he just needs these 2 on wood, nothing more. And then that allows him to not have to move his villages around too much, going from food to wood, from wood to gold, and so on and so forth. You don't have to do these little micromanagements. These 2 are on wood in the beginning, and that's all he's going to need for the foreseeable future. So for here on out, he's just queuing villagers onto food. Now when he's got the gold, it's not a tight builder at all. You see he's got 40 gold, it doesn't matter. He's getting the temple. And of course with Demeter, you want to place your herdables next to the temple because you get a really, really sick favor gather rate. I think it's 30% when you have 10 herdables nearby, which is actually 10% more, 10 percentage points more than Zeus. So quite significant. Also, you have 10 favor in the beginning. I think that's a bug. It doesn't say anything about that in the Major God description. But also, Demeter is very low win rate. So even with that bug, she's low win rate. So maybe it's a good thing she starts with it. See 2 villagers on favor here, and they're both on 7.12, 7.13 when this guy isn't there. But yeah, you get a really, really good favor gather rate here. For reference, I think Monument to Villagers is like 0.06 or something, right? So it's a really high favor gather rate. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is 0. 0, maybe it's 0.1. Probably it's 0.1. Nevertheless, you get a really good gather rate with Demeter. And he's gone off through Pan here, so like I also said in the little talk before, this Pan is a very low win rate when you're playing as Demeter. So people haven't figured out how to play Pan, but I really think Pegasus had got a really good idea here. Like I said, 2 on wood. These two have just been on wood the entire time, and he's got 2 on favor, 5 on gold, 5 on food. 5 on gold probably sounds like a lot, but the reason for it is because the Lycaons will cost you 80 wood and 100 gold. So you're gonna need a lot of gold. And as soon as he's gonna be advanced to the next age, I think we're gonna see him queuing up Lycaons immediately. Orpheus is here. Orpheus is a really cool Archaic Age hero, I think. He's also bugged. He deals full damage in the Archaic Age. Like, that's another bug. It's a bit insane. But he's a cool hero. The aura that he gives to 10 units where they get a multiplier versus myth units, I think that's really, really sick. And he's a well-designed hero, IMO. I wish the projectile looked maybe just make it yellow or something distinctly different than pharaohs and priests, you know. Nevertheless, wait, we aren't. Yeah, we saw one additional Lycaon being made here from Pegasus already, and he's now making a military academy. He's against Poseidon, so he wants his heroes out, and he wants maybe some hoplites just for defense. And while he's defending against Poseidon, he wants to continually build these Lycaons. You see it right here, 3rd Lycaon coming out. These Lycaons does have a really good gather rate when hunting or herding, husbandry. So using them on gold is on paper maybe a bit bad. Because I think if you get the husbandry upgrade, for example, and you place these, and you place your Lycaons on your goats, you're gonna get like 1.5 or something gather rate, so almost double of what we're seeing here. So that's something you can play around with as well. See if you can get these boys out hunting, maybe over here, place up some walls or something. Maybe even save some of your initial hunt. That could be a really cool play. Save some of your initial hunt and then get your Lycaons for those hunts. And also utilize your goats, especially if you have more than 10. What you see here, Pegasus, he's building hoplites, he's got his 2 heroes, and he's doing Lycaon count 4 already. Up here, I've said this so many times, this is bugged. The Lycaons count as 3 instead of 1. So it says 21 versus 33 villagers, that's not right. But there is definitely an advantage for Pegasus here over his Poseidon opponent. Small little fight here taken from Pegasus. So he's able to fend off the Poseidon attack while building Lycaons here. Building a 5th one now. You can fast forward a bit. He is playing a very defensive game here. This is, like I said, when you go Demeter Pan, you're playing a very defensive, boomy game. It's just the nature of it. It's also Snake Dance. Very easy to defend yourself here. He's got his own little valley here, protected by cliffs on both sides. Amazing setup for Pegasus to do what he's doing here. And on the other hand, terrible setup if you're playing Poseidon. 2 more Lycaons coming in. The Lycaons even praying. Didn't know they could do that, but with 4 villagers on the temple, you still get a 0.1 gather rate, which is, I think, normal. But then with 4, you usually get diminishing returns, but here, because you're playing Demeter, they're all on 0.1, which is kind of crazy. Poseidon now going Dionysus, realizes there's no damage to be dealt here. 8 Lycaons in for Pegasus, 25 favor in bank. I wonder if it's time now to press that button. He's getting the 9th Lycaon. Surely after that, he's going to get that upgrade, and he's going to move the boys in. Expect that's what's going to happen, right? 10 Lycaons. Now we've seen Predatory Instinct pre-queued. It's such a costly upgrade. 300 food, 20 favor. So costly. But, you know, we're 10 minutes in now, and these Lycaons have, you know, paid themselves back in terms of resources gathered. So, the game plan is here. The synergies are definitely here. And in a game like this, where Pegasus gets to just play full defense for 10 minutes, and then decide to go all in, you see the Lycaons coming in here, about ready to press that button. And it's actually coinciding with the Poseidon player going into the middle as well. There we go. The Alpha Lycaons coming in. And now you just go balls to the wall here. Either you gold control or you just dive the enemy town center. But you cannot sit back now. I guess you kind of can because I don't know how this villager up here works. 39 to 34. Maybe you can. Maybe you don't have to go that balls to the wall, but it's definitely like this is such a big investment. These werewolves here, the Lycaons. And I think you have to utilize them. Look at the damage here, 22, and then for some reason pierce damage, crush damage, and divine damage as well. So they'll deal some extra damage to buildings, but mostly they deal hack attack. Aphrodite coming in from Pegasus as well. When you get Heroic Age, your Mythians are going to get even stronger, plus the Curse is going to be very nice. Also having access to Icarus, that busted Heroic Age hero, is going to be nice too. But yeah, see this. You got your army, you got your 10 Alpha Lycaons out, and you just go for the town center. Curse used from the Poseidon player. I think maybe you hit one Lycaon and some hoplites here. You just fight. And then you can use the meadow like this, I guess. You take down the TC, and this is not a favorable fight for Pegasus. There's myth units and heroes to take down the Lycaons. He wants to wait for his own heroic age, and then he wants to fight. And the meadow is such a wonky concept. The archers outside of it can hit units inside of it. There's the heroic age in for Pegasus. The Lycaon's now 420 HP and 4 extra damage. Curse also used here from Pegasus. And I think he's going to be able to just take this fight. Orpheus coming in clutch, taking down these centaurs. You see here, this army is incredibly strong. Pegasus takes the win. So that's the Pan gameplay. We didn't get to see, like I said, we didn't get to see the divine labor, you know, utilizing the conversion back to villagers and then getting back to full HP. We didn't get to see the thorned walls, once again converting them to villagers and building up walls, stuff like that. It's so hard when you're actually playing the game to do all these things. But we got to see a lot of the things that the Demeter Pan game plan gives you, and really cool game from Pegasus here.